I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Drop Zone. Now introducing your host once again, the team of Jeff Walsh and Anthony Young. We're back. Welcome back, everyone, to the return of the Drop Zone. Now introducing your host once again, the team of Jeff Walsh and Anthony Young.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Drop Zone with your co-host, Anthony Young, and my partner in crime, Mr. Jeff Walsh. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. Back at it again, another week. Excited to be back once again.
Yeah, another wonderful week has gone through. Although out here it's raining like there's no tomorrow. I hope
That's
you
what
have
it's
better
been
weather.
doing here too. That's what we finally have a day of sunshine here in PA. It's been raining like absolutely no problem. It's annoying.
All right, so what we got on the docket for today, bud?
All right. Just real quick, NBA Finals. It is now OKC leading 3-2. Halliburton with a calf strain. Don't know if he'll play Game 6. That'll be very huge. That's pretty much all the NBA Finals stuff we got. It could go 7, but with Halliburton being maybe out, I don't know if they will win Game 6 to tie it up. I think it might be Thunder in 6.
I'm okay with that.
And the big one that we got today is we will be ranking every NFL team from 1 to 32 and naming their strengths and weaknesses for each team.
All right, well, let's get into it.
All right, we're going to be starting from 32 to 1. And I think the very obvious number 32 team in the NFL right now, I mean, this is my own ranking. This is my own power ranking for the 1 to 32 team. The number 32 team is the Cleveland Browns. I think this goes almost as no shock with just their roster structure. They do have a good wide receiver core, but who's going to be throwing them the ball, I have no idea. So their strength for me is one guy, and that's Myles Garrett. They just paid him a big-ass contract, and he's almost the only bright spot for that team at the moment. And I think the biggest weakness is the QB.
Okay, so last season the Browns was ranked number 28th. They averaged 300.8 points per game, which really isn't that much. And they only had, I just lost the whole one, 29 offensive touchdowns. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The defense is going to be their defense as always. But I agree with without a bona fide quarterback, yeah, that offense, unless somebody steps up during preseason, that offense is going to stall.
again, they have good weapons on the side with the Jerry Jeudy. He proved himself last year. I just don't know how, like, they just don't have a QB right now to throw to those stars on the outside. So, I mean, we'll see. I could be wrong, but just right now, I just don't see them as a very strong team in the NFL.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
All right, number 31 is the Tennessee Titans. Now, I think their greatest strength is what they have at the running back and wide receiver spot. I think
Okay.
they really have a lot of talent there with Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, and a bunch of other weapons on the outside that I think proved himself last year. My biggest issue with them is that they have unproven young quarterbacks. I understand that they just drafted Cam Ward and they have Will Levis. Will Levis did not do good last year, and Cam Ward is a rookie. They have not proven anything in the NFL right now. That is my only... I think that's just the biggest weakness. I do think Cam Ward can bring this team somewhere and do well with this team. But right now, I have not seen anything in the NFL yet. So that's, again, and you know how I am with rookies. You know exactly how I am with rookies. I'm very tentative on them. That is, to me, their greatest weakness because I think that their defensive line is really, really good as well. So I just think that is their biggest weakness right now, is that they have unproven young quarterbacks.
Okay. Well, last season they was ranked 26. They averaged 304.2 points per game, but they did put up 33 touchdowns. So, you know me, I always like to pick sleeper rookies.
Mm-hmm.
I think with their offensive line and the young talent that they have on that offense, I think Cam Ward can be possibly CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Their defense looks to be improving. But yeah, once again, I know how you feel about rookies, but at the same time, you also know how I feel about them. I always find that one that proves everybody wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm not going as nuts last time, because last time you said something about a rookie, I turned out to be hella wrong. So that's why I'm not losing my mind on you yet. But how many points per game did they average?
Oh, well, it doesn't tell me how many points per game they average, but they just put up 33 touchdowns, offensive touchdowns.
Okay. What, like 300 yards per game?
Just slightly over 300.
Will Levis?
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, I do think Cam Ward will be good. It's just I'm, again, always very weary on especially the top picks in the draft with the QBs. They could be hit or miss. So, that's why
This
I'm
is
like,
true.
So, but again, they have a lot of young talent and potential on that team. That's just, to me, that is their very big weakness with them.
Hey Brian, how you doing today?
Hey,
Who you got at number 29?
well, number 30.
Oh yeah, my bad, number 30.
Counting with Tony, 31, 29. But number 30 has to be, I'm sorry, but your New York Giants.
Don't be sorry.
I don't see them as a great team, but their greatest strength has to be their defense. Has to be. They've loaded up on their defense. That's their calling card this year, and it should be their calling card for the next few years until they get a good quarterback there. Russell Wilson is not a bad QB, as I would know. He was a Pittsburgh Steeler last year. He didn't do too bad when he started off. Then his last 5 games, he did not look very good. For me, the biggest weakness, I mean, I think you would agree with this, is their offensive line. They are not, I mean, it has been their biggest weakness for the past I don't know how many years. To me, it doesn't matter who you have in at QB. If you cannot protect them, they will not succeed and they will not do well.
I will have to agree. And ironically, last year they was ranked in the same spot, number 30. And with the poor QB play, they didn't even average 300 yards. They barely just hit 30 offensive touchdowns. Now, like you said, the offensive line is a huge question. I really got to see how Andrew Thomas returns, and hopefully he actually could stay healthy. If he could stay healthy, and the entire line could stay healthy, they might be able to at least crack the top 20, the top 25 as an offense. Because Russell Wilson, he's great at throwing a deep ball, and you got explosive receivers that have speed. And Tyrone Tracy, I mean, he's basically going to be the number one running back to start the season. So he did very well last year. He did cost the Giants a game with a late fumble, but hopefully he get that fixed. And the defense is, if the Giants' offense don't turn the ball over, the defense could keep the games close. And hopefully Russell Wilson can pull something out of his butt. Or, as long as they don't put in interception Winston in. You know how I feel about him.
What? He's Mr. 30 for 30. Come on.
You 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be a make it or break it season for Coach Daboll and the GM. If they finish with a severely poor losing record, which is kind of be unfair because of the fact that they have the strongest schedule. But at least if the games are competitive, they might be saved some. If not, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, again, Russ, he will definitely utilize those receivers better than Daniel Jones did, because he understands how they work. Neighbors and him, I think, will have a good connection this year. Again, does that line need to protect Wilson? Because when Wilson gets flustered in the pocket, that's when it starts going downhill for him. And we saw that last year with the Steelers. Our offensive line was not great either. And when the defense was able to get to Russ, he looked like a completely different quarterback.
Yeah, I will agree. It's not the Russell Wilson that, won a Super Bowl in Seattle and led them to a second one. This is an older Russell Wilson. He's up there in age. His speed is a little bit gone, but, he still has that arm. As long as he can get the ball down the field to Neighbors and Slayton and Robinson and Hyatt, the offense can turn around and be dangerous as long as the offensive line holds up.
All right, now at number 29. We have the two New York teams back to back. The New York Jets at number 29. And it's funny that their strength and weakness to me is the exact same. Their strength is their defense again. They have a good defense. They were just on the field way too much with how bad Aaron Rodgers played and the offense was last year. I think that defense just got worn down time and time again because they were out there way too much. The weakness with them is the offensive line. They did not do a good job of protecting Aaron Rodgers last year. and they really haven't made any improvements on it in the offseason. So, I mean, with a mobile quarterback in Justin Fields, it could be a lot better, so where he can get out of those situations more. But to me, looking at their structure of the offense and the defense, that is their biggest weakness.
So last year, surprisingly, they was in the top 25. They was ranked 24th. They averaged 310.3 yards per game. And they actually put up 40 offensive touchdowns. So they were able to get in the end zone. But like you said, the defense would spend too much time on the field. There was too many 3-and-outs. And when you have a lot of 3-and-outs, your defense constantly come back on the field. By the end of the game, they're worn down. And ironically, like you said, it's the same situation with the Giants that the Jets had. Both teams had good defenses, but if your offense can't stay on the field to give them a breather, by the end of the game, I mean, they're basically just running on fumes. And same situation, if the offensive line could hold up, with Justin Fields back there, I mean, that offense can be kind of pretty interesting because Fields does love to scramble. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think they might end up being maybe a top 20 offense if the offensive line could hold up.
I mean, they have talent everywhere on that team right now.
Yes, they do.
It's just, again, Aaron Rodgers did not play up to standard, but again, that offensive line did not help him in the slightest, to where he was getting sacked, having to scramble and move around in the pocket, which is not really what he's always known for. He's known for his arm slinging talent. He's not known to do that every single play and have to do it very often because in Green Bay, he had that amazing offensive line that was able to protect him and give him time in the pocket to throw.
Exactly.
All right, number 28, the New Orleans Saints. I don't see it going well for them with Derek Carr retiring, but their strength is definitely their young wide receiver core. They have talent there on the edges with Olave and Shaheed, but their weakness has to be with the quarterback spot, like I said. Derek Carr retiring. That was almost your guaranteed starting quarterback. He was going to play through anything.
That is true. I think that caught everybody off guard. But other than that, they were ranked surprisingly 21st. They averaged 320.1 yards, but they only scored 37 offensive touchdowns. Which, I mean, basically, from the looks of it, was pretty much like around the middle of the pack. The only ones that actually did more, we'll get to them later. My issue with the Saints is their defense. I got a feeling that their defense is not going to hold up very well as usual.
So you would say that's their weakness, or like that's what their greatest weakness is, not the QB. It's that it's their defense.
My thing with the QB is, I mean, yes, Derek Carr did have a pretty strong career, but at the same time, he seems to always have, there was always something that just, towards the end of the season, that just kind of like seems to throw him off. So, I mean, the QB spot is always going to be a problem, especially since you no longer have the veteran QB. But at the same time, since Drew Brees retired, the QB spot has always been an issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. And yeah, that defense, other than Cam Jordan right now and Demario Davis, is their strongest on defense. They lost Marshawn Lattimore last year. They lost, I think, Adebo to the Giants this year. And that's two big hits to their secondary. Again, if they're out there a lot with how bad that offense might be, it'll be a tough time for the Saints this year.
I agree.
All right, on my rankings, the next team at number 27 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they have a good young QB in Trevor Lawrence, but to me, their greatest strength.
I don't know if I would call him good, decent, maybe.
Compared to what they could have, I think he's good enough. You know, he still has talent, but their strength is the young wide receivers. With Brian Thomas Jr. and how well he did last year, they have Travis Hunter now coming in. To me, that's exactly what they needed. Was another weapon on the outside for Lawrence to throw to. We'll see if he can actually throw it to him.
Okay.
And now they're weak, but their greatest weakness, to me, is the health in secondary. Each secondary member that started had at least 2 to 3 weeks being out. And it's the same guys now that they have. They haven't made any changes, really. It's the same secondary that they had last year. And they were all out for an extended period of time with injuries last year, and they had made no improvements. To me, that is the weakness, and that's what hurt them last year, is that they were getting the ball thrown against them so much that the offense couldn't keep up.
So last season, Jacksonville was ranked number 25th. They averaged 306.2 yards, and they put up 34 touchdowns. Again, middle of the pack with scoring. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence is more of a hit or miss quarterback. I consider him a step above Daniel Jones. Like you said, the injuries. So I mean, the offensive players can stay injury free. That offense can be explosive. I mean, we all know that his favorite target is Evan Ingram's a tight end. But in their defense, personally, I felt like their defense is taking a step back. Just because of some of the players on there are getting older. But overall, yeah, I mean, I think they could finish maybe as a top 25 offense, which is basically where it was ranked last year.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because again, with like you said, Trevor Lawrence is a hit or miss quarterback, and you saying that he's a step above Daniel Jones is not much of a say or a good thing. You would like to be a few steps above Daniel Jones, but yeah, I mean, if he has multiple good games, they have a chance to do something at least. But again, there's just so much offensive firepower in the AFC that it'll just be tough to keep up with any of those good teams.
That is true.
All right, number 26, I have one of your sleeper teams, the Carolina Panthers. As much as they're your sleeper team, they are not mine. I don't see them as much as high as you see them. To me, their strength has to be their defensive line. It is so strong. It can get to the QB with ease. I think they will have a good time there, getting a lot of stacks. But their weakness is also on their defense in the secondary. They will just keep getting torched if they can't get to that QB. They will get torched in the secondary each and every game.
Okay, so the Panthers last year was ranked number 29th. They was just under 300 yards per game, but they did put up a lot of points because they scored over 40. They scored 40 offensive touchdowns. So we know they could get into the end zone. And with now a full year for Bryce Young after being benched, and as strong as he came on last year from after being benched, I think that really opened his eyes. And he realized that, the NFL is not a cakewalk. You actually got to put the work in. Like you said, their defensive line is a menace. But yes, their secondary is prone to get beat. But as long as our offense could put up points and keep their defense rested, I believe that's why I said they're going to be one of my sleeper teams that's going. I mean, I don't see them winning a division, but I can see them coming in the second behind the Tampa Bay Bucks. Because we're not too sure about the Falcons as far as that whole situation is going. And the Saints is just the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I have them above the Saints, because I do think they are better just right now with how Bryce Young played. Adam Thielen's there, Legate as well, Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard there at the running back. They have talent there on the offense. It's and on that defense. So again, I just think if that secondary can keep teams out of the end zone and from marching down that field, I think they could be, again, like you said, second in the I think they're the South team. They're the NFC South.
NFC South.
Right. Number 25. We got the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas Seahawks?
Yes. So to me, their greatest strengths are pretty much three players right now. Is Geno Smith, Brock Bowers. I think that'll be an absolute dynamic duo right now. Because if Bowers had that type of season with the QB that he had, I think he'll have almost no problem with Geno Smith. Because I think that Geno Smith is a different QB now. He's not the one that we saw in with the Jets or the Giants. I think he's a much better and different QB now. And of course, another one of their strengths is Max Crosby there on the edge. He is an absolute menace. He plays through anything. He has one goal in mind, and that is to hurt somebody. And that's to get to the QB. Stop throwing it back in the backfield. He hates losing. So I feel bad that he's on this team. But it will always be a problem as long as he's on that field. But their weakness has to be the wide receiver core. Their top two wide receivers are Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. That's your wide receiver core that you're giving Geno Smith to work with, other than Brock Bowers at the tight end. That is not going to get it done here in the NFL. You need more on the outside there. So I can't really put much on Geno Smith if he doesn't do well. Because given Myers and Trey Tucker, I don't know what he's really meant to do with those guys.
Well, last season it was ranked 27th. They barely averaged over 300 yards a game at 303.2. and only 30 touchdowns. So they was basically at the bottom in scoring. And so, I mean, I do joke about calling them the Las Vegas Seahawks, but we got to look at it this way. I mean, Pete Carroll's the head coach. He got the trade for Geno Smith, which, I mean, that's the head coach that turned Smith around. So he's basically going to have the same entire playbook that he had when he was in Seattle. You're right about the receiving core. I mean, outside of Brock, you have nothing. The defense is, to me, I think the defense is more of a just slightly above the middle of the pack type defense. They're a little bit above average. I'm not going to say they're below average. They're slightly just above average, but they're not in the upper echelon. So if the offense could, help stay on the field and help the defense rest with Pete Carroll's type of, ball control offense, I could see them finishing maybe just outside of the top 25.
Yeah, again, I think they have a pretty good offense other than the wide receivers. And the defense, to me, is a lot of Max Crosby, who can get stops when needed. But again, if they're out there too much, the stops won't happen.
I agree.
All right, number 24 is the Arizona Cardinals.
They still have a team?
I couldn't really pinpoint a strength for them. I just think that their strength right now is their offense. James Conner, he had a great year last year. Kyler Murray, he still can be very explosive. He still can be that. And they're with the defensive line, they can get to the QB, and the secondary is still really good. So their weakness has to be the linebacker. That is their middle of their defense, and to me, they don't have anyone good enough to really stop the run right now and be that middle of the defense type of, I don't know how to explain it, but just the stopper. Just be like that enforcer in the defense, in the middle. That is, to me, just their weakness right now. That's their biggest hole that they have. So yeah, that's the Arizona Cardinals. I think their offense is still really good and has a chance to be something in this NFL. But yeah, I think that's what the weakness is.
Well, here's something that's going to shock you. The Cardinals last year ranked just outside of the top 10. They was 11th. They averaged 358.2 points a game and put up 42 offensive touchdowns. I think the combination of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray, now with a full year under their belt, is going to scare a lot of defenses.
Scare me.
So, and I agree with you about their defense. The front four is solid. The back end is solid. Yeah, if you can't have middle linebackers and outside linebackers help stop the run or help get pass pressure, your offense is going to have to put up a whole lot of points to cover up for the deficiency of the defense. And with that offense, I mean, like I said, they were just outside of the top 10 at 11th. And I can see them only getting better now that they have a full year with Murray and Harrison together. that they will crack the top 10, barring injuries. As long as nobody get injured as major, then yeah, they should be fine. They'll be fine. As far as them doing anything, I think they can still stay in the middle. Well, I don't know. We'll get to Seattle eventually. Because we know the 49ers are going to end up being back to the class of that division.
You think so?
I believe so. As long as everybody say the 49ers problem was injuries.
You're right. All right, next at number 23, I have the Miami Dolphins. People will probably be shocked that I have them this low.
Okay.
Just they have a lot of off-season stuff going on. Tua, we can't, like, if he can't stay healthy, if he can't stay out of concussion protocol, I worry about his health. I really, really do.
I will agree.
I don't think his brain can take many more big hits to the head right now. I think he's about one or two more hits to his head to just, I would call it quits. I mean, I might already call it quits. If you have money to support your family, I understand the love and passion for this game, but right now your health is the biggest concern and the biggest worry right now. Tyreek Hill, he's just causing nothing but drama. Jalen Ramsey, he's causing nothing but drama. Again, he's looking for a trade. He's not even at OTAs. So, I mean, given all that, I think their strength is still their offense. Again, Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, they did amazing last year. And the offensive line is still good as well. With A-Chain in the backfield. Still a very explosive and powerful offense.
So last year, they was ranked 18th. They averaged 325.4 points a game, but only mustered 34 offensive touchdowns. Majority of that was due to Tua being injured. Concussion. I agree with you 100%. Every time he steps on the field, and every time I see him take a hit, I wonder if that's going to be his last hit. Personally, I think they need to run more of a West Coast style offense where he gets the ball out of his hand fast. That way he's not taking those hits. Because with the wide receivers they have, I mean, we all know about the cheetah. I mean, hey, he's almost impossible to catch. Waddle's another one that has great speed as well. You get those guys on slants and you get them the ball and out in the open while they're still in full speed. They can easily break big games. So instead of having them, an offense where he gotta sit in the pocket, wait for them to get downfield or stuff like that, run a West Coast offense. Get him on slants, get the ball out of his hands, protect him. Run the ball a lot more often as well, because Cheney is a beast. He gets past the linebackers and the secondary got to deal with him. Good luck with that secondary. And their defense, what was that?
Sorry, but for me, their weakness is their pass rushers right now.
Yes.
I think that they have excellent linebackers. They have a good secondary. Again, Ramsey, he's not going to be there. He's seeking a trade. It's just they can't get to the QB as often as I think they would really like to. But yeah, to me, I think that West Coast offense is perfect for Tua. I really, really do. Because if you give him time to think, that's where it's like it gets troubling. Because
Exactly.
to me, max in the NFL right now is you have about 4 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds before there's going to be people in your face to hit you. So if you just run a West Coast offense, ball out of the hands in about 1.5, 2 seconds max, and just let those speedy guys do what they do, it protects him.
Yeah. I mean, the West Coast offense is based on a 3-step drop. When you hit that 3rd step, that ball should be getting ready to come out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Not where you got to drop back, like not a traditional offense where you're dropping back, scanning the field, going through your progressions. That's, I mean, if he had a great offensive line, I could see that working. But apparently he doesn't because he's constantly in concussion protocols. And like I say, every time I see him on the field, he takes a hit, especially a really hard hit. I'm wondering, is that the hit that's going to end his career?
I hope that we don't ever see that, but he's just had too many close calls, too many scary ones that I unfortunately see it happening eventually.
So do I.
All right, next at number 22 is the Indianapolis Colts. I know that's one of your sleeper teams too. I get it. I get it, but I don't see it again as much as you do.
I mean, we're not going to agree on everything. Let's be honest about this. I mean, we're going to have our differences.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's what's great about sports. You can have a different opinion. It's okay.
And that's what makes us a great duo.
Agree. Mm-hmm. But their greatest strength to me is their lines, offensive and on the defense. They can definitely protect really, really well. They can move the ball well when they have to run with Jonathan Taylor. And their defensive line is a problem. They can get to the QB and run stuff as well. Speaking QBs, that is their weakness, is the quarterback. We talked about it last week. With Anthony Richardson, with Daniel Jones, who will start week 1? I think it's a lose-lose for them right now. Daniel Jones could do something in that new offense in a new place. It could be like a Geno Smith situation. Anthony Richardson, again, the fans kind of are done with him. They don't want to really see him on the field too much longer. With his injury history, I don't know if he'll be on the field much at all this year. So, to me, that is their greatest QB and what they're going to get out of it.
Well, last season, the Colts offense was ranked 13th. They averaged just over 334.8 yards per game, as well as 41 offensive touchdowns. So, yes, majority of the yardage probably came on the ground, but at the same time, a lot of it was through the air. So, Anthony Richardson really, do I condone him giving up on the team in that one game? No. I would never condone that. That's uncalled for. That's unprofessional. Hopefully he learned from that lesson and turn his life around, especially if he wants a long career in the NFL, because that can and will more than likely follow him throughout his career. And he does have to prove to the Colts, as well as the Colts fans, that he's not a quitter, that he's in this for the long haul. But at the same time, if you're going to try to rely on Daniel Jones, you might as well just have me come out there and try to throw to the Colts receivers. at least I could get the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Anthony Richardson again. Like that's something like you said about that will unfortunately follow him throughout his whole career if he doesn't stay with the Colts his whole career. Because any team that'll then go to sign him or trade for him will always look back on that and wonder, will he quit on us? Will that happen to us? Is that just a one-time thing, or will he do it again? So that's, I think, will follow him as well.
I don't have anything else for
Number 21. Number 21. Oh boy, people are gonna hate me.
Uh-oh.
But number 21, the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, America's team, Dallas Cowboys.
I still have a question about who actually said they was America's team.
When they were good, I don't know. 20, 30 years ago, but when they were fighting for championships, not sitting on the couch every playoff. But the Dallas Cowboys is at number 21. Their strength, obviously, is their offense with Dak Prescott, now with George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb, and Ferguson. But their weakness is just plain and simple their defense. Just plain and simple. That's what did not do them well last year. They lost Lawrence to the Seahawks. Yes, they had Micah Parsons. Great. But they got ran all over. It was a segment almost every single week on ESPN. They could not stop the run like... They could stop a cold at some points. The Ravens ran all over them. The Saints demolished them in week 2.
Well, wait, time out. We can't include the Ravens because, I mean, they're trying to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I mean...
Yeah, but still, you are a NFL caliber team. You should not get destroyed as bad as they did. Not every team got ran all over like they did.
This is true.
Absolutely, and that was, I think, back-to-back weeks. I think they lost to the Saints that bad, getting ran all over, and then the Ravens did to them again the following week.
Okay.
That middle of that defense is absolutely torn up. It's atrocious. They still haven't really made much of a difference this offseason with that defense and the on the line, their middle and the linebackers. Oh. That's why I have them so low. Because it doesn't matter how good that offense is. If that defense cannot stop a cold, it does not matter. That's why they're so low.
I mean, I agree with you about 89%, 90%. Well, last year the Cowboys offense was ranked 17th. They averaged just under 330 yards per game with only 33 offensive touchdowns. So scoring really was an issue for them as well. I mean, there was games where they put up tons of points, and there was games where, I mean, they couldn't put up any points. The defense, it was a hit or miss defense. Yes, they were atrocious against the run. But they have been for the past, 4 or 5 years. They've been great against the pass, but teams that was run heavy were the ones that always gave the Cowboys fits. Point and blank, the Ravens. I mean, like I said, when you got trying to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and Henry's just like a runaway freight train. He's just going to run you over. And Lamar Jackson's just going to make you look stupid. So, I mean, I'm really not going to count that game against the Cowboys. But, yeah, the game against the Saints, yeah, I mean, that was pretty bad. Well, I believe their offense is only going to get better with the addition of, and I know you hate this to the core of your heart, George Pickens. I know that irritation just drives you nuts. But with those two, with Lamb and Pickens as a 1-2 punch, I mean, they're going to put up some point. Because now the defense is going to be, you got to pick your poison. So I actually see them finishing, in the top 15, close to the top 10 next season as an offense. And trust me, it pains me to say this because I can't stand the Cowboys. Anybody who knows me knows I can't stand the Cowboys, as well as another team we're going to be mentioned later. So, but yeah, their offense is, let's face it, the strength of their offense has always been their offensive line. They've always had a great offensive line. This past season, it wasn't that good, but it was good enough for them to still, at least be outside of the top 15 barely as a offense.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fix some things around.
No problem.
Give me a second. Damn it! Alright. Technical difficulties here.
It's always seems we always have one every show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you with the offensive line, but they have that offensive line got torn up this offseason. They have Tyler Guyton now, Tyler Smith, Cooper Badib, Tyler Booker, and Terrence Steele. They lost Zach Martin to retirement, and I think they lost another offensive lineman to free agency. So it's a bit hit up, but again, just they have a great offense. They just signed Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders in the offseason at running back, so that'll be definitely a lot better than what they had last year.
True.
And it was CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens there on the outside. You had George Pickens. Every goddamn week I'm going to hear about George Pickens. And Jalen Tolbert, he did prove himself last year. He had a really good year last year. So, yeah. It's still going to be a good offense. But again, I just think that defense is going to be a bit suspect.
That defense will keep them in games to a certain extent. Well, the offense will keep them in games to a certain extent. The problem is, like we always said, if you're facing a run-heavy team like the Ravens, they could wear you down, and then that's when that defense is going to just fall apart. Like I said, the offense is going to be lethal.
Oh yeah, it will be. It will be. Again, yes, it pains me. Yes, George Pickens is my guy. I don't think that we should have gotten rid of him. I would have loved to see what that would have been like on the outside. But man, that would have been amazing to see. But yeah, I'm not gonna doubt. I'm not I'm not as bad of a hater as Stephen A. Smith is. I don't mind seeing them lose. I know that you don't mind seeing them lose either. But I will admit,
never. I enjoy watching them lose.
I will admit that offense is going to be disgusting. It's going to be a great offense. But again, I will just always point to that defense. They couldn't stop the run last year, and to me, they haven't made any improvements in this offseason to change that. If anything, they lost Lawrence, which is one of the best players on the defense. So yeah, to me, again, that'll just be their biggest issue right now.
And just one more quick point. I think the biggest issue on the offense will be Dak Prescott.
You don't think he's all that?
No. Because, let's face it, Dak Prescott is Tony Romo II, an accident waiting to happen.
I agree with you there. I agree with you. I think he's had good seasons, Do I think he's deserved to be paid all that money? Maybe. I think he's won one playoff game in the time he's been there. His team in general has choked in playoffs, not just him. Again, his defense against the Packers like 2 years ago was very, very bad. They let Jordan Love absolutely torch them, and that looked terrible. So it's not always just on him, and I understand he's the leader of that team. He's really the face of that franchise, kind of, because Jerry Jones likes to take the spotlight behind every single, like just after every single game, everyone talked about Jerry Jones and what he said. And Jerry Jones just shut up and just let the team play. The more he talks, the more he adds, just brings more to that team that they don't need. It's more of a distraction than a help. Yes, he does. Dak is whack. I like that one. Dak is whack. But Jerry Jones really just gets on my nerves. He, I think, has lost what the NFL is. He's not really in tune with it. And when he says, I have a great team after just being blown out by 40, just tells me he's not really paying attention. He's not really all there. So,
that tells me he's lost touch with reality altogether.
I have a great team. He just lost by 30 and got absolutely ran over. Like, come on. Alright, we talked about the Cowboys for a very long time. The Falcons is number 20. Yes, I see them above the Cowboys. I don't know how. I don't know why. Don't ask. No questions, please. But that is Falcons number 20. Their strength is their secondary. Their secondary was absolutely amazing last year with Jesse Bates and what else did they have? I know they had Jordan Fuller and Mike Hughes there, and AJ Terrell. That was an absolutely amazing secondary that they had there. So it was able to stop the pass, but then that defense had a hard time with the underneath throws. But their weakness has to be at the QB spot. They are literally benching Kirk Cousins, who they paid a shitload of money to. Michael Penix Jr., who did not show much last year. They have a good offense with your guy, Bijan Robinson.
Well, this is how good their offense was last year. It was ranked 6th.
Mm-hmm.
They
have a good offense.
They averaged just under 370 yards a game, and they put up 43 offensive touchdowns. So, I mean, I gotta agree with you. You know, Michael Penix Jr. He showed some signs of flash, but he also showed signs of that he should have set the full year, and they should have just left Kirk Cousins in the game so he can continue to learn. But I mean, they have a lot of offensive weapons. Some of them which the coordinator don't know how to use. And their defense, you know, the front four is all amazing. The secondary is outstanding. Again, their linebacker play is average. And that's what hurt them in a lot of games and cost them a lot of games was their average linebacker play. As far as this season, I see that offense. If Pettis could continue progressing, the offense can stay in the top 10. maybe crack the top 5. But other than that, if Penix doesn't, if he regress or just doesn't improve, it stays the same, that offense could slide out of the top 10 easily.
Yeah, I mean, they have weapons. Again, I said Robinson at the running back. They have Tyler Algier as well. That's a great backup running back to have. They have, like I said, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, and Kyle Pitts. They did not utilize Kyle Pitts barely at all last year.
No, they didn't.
They need to they need to figure out a way to get him involved in the offense more. And I think that'll make their offense even better. Because if that offense was that good without them really utilizing him, imagine if they actually did utilize him, I think it'd be even better. So, yeah, I think they just need to utilize these guys a lot better. And Michael Penix, it's pretty much all on him. It depends on his play. If he plays well, then this team is going to be amazing. But if he plays bad, then it's going to really show, and I can see them turning right back to Kirk Cousins.
I got nothing else.
All right, number 19 is my sleeper team. One of my sleeper teams, the New England Patriots. To me, their strength is their defense. They have a great defense. Yes, Drake May in his second year. Hopefully, he doesn't hit a sophomore slump. We'll see what happens with him. To me, the weakness is the wide receiver core. Stephon Diggs, we all know he can't keep his mouth shut. We've been known that. He just needs to prove himself on the field and just be quiet. Then we got Douglas and Kendrick Bourne. It's a decent wide receiver core for Drake May. Is it great or good? I don't think it is. I think they need to do better at that spot for him to be successful. I still think he will be successful, but again, I think they have a good team. It's just that is their greatest weakness that they have.
Well, last season they was ranked 31st. They barely averaged over 290 yards, 291.9, with 30 offensive touchdowns. Again, I agree with you with their defense. But then again, New England always had an outstanding defense. Even when Bill Belichick was there, that was their staple. And that has still continued. But I don't see that offense being that explosive. Yeah, they got Stephon Diggs, but we all know how this is going to play out. Because if Kenny Mayne can't get the ball to Stephon Diggs, we already know what's going to happen. The defense, Stephon Diggs, is going to come out, and he's not going to shut up. It's just that offense, I think, can possibly be good, but I think it's just going to be a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, we will all see where that happens with that offense. But again, it all really depends on Drake May and if he's a sophomore slump or if he's just continues to improve.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they would even subject Drake May to a receiver like Stephon Diggs. I know you're trying to get him help, but that is really not the way to do it.
All right, number 18 is my other sleeper team, the Chicago Bears. I think that their greatest strength is getting a new head coach. That has to be the biggest help that could have been to this team, is getting a new head coach in Ben Johnson. And we talked about it last week. Caleb Williams, I think, is a good quarterback, just put in probably the worst head coach situation that he could have been put into. But just the weakness of this team is the offensive line. They couldn't really protect Caleb Williams too much, which led to him making mistakes and that offense not looking to where everyone thought it would be. So, again, we talked about it last week. They have a lot of talent on the team in general. And with having the right head coach, I think this team could go places, could do something this year. But the weakness has to be the offensive line.
So last season, the Bears were ranked dead last in offense. 283.5 yards a game. But they did put up 36 offensive touchdowns. So that tells me that this team can score if given a chance. And with the talented receivers they have, and with Caleb Williams, I mean, if the offensive line could just... I think that's another team where a West Coast offense will come in handy for them. I know he got Ben Johnson as their head coach, and we've seen what he did with Jeff Goff.
Jared Goff.
So, yeah, I mean, he turned them from an average quarterback to I won't say elite, but a star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could do the same with Caleb Williams. But again, with the offensive line, you're going to have to go to more of a West Coast style where it's 3 steps, ball's got to be out your hands.
Yeah, because we saw last year, the more he thought, the more mistakes he made.
Exactly.
All right, and number 17. A lot of people might be shocked to have him this low. But to me, they're middle of the pack team. It's the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
And here's why. They lost Deebo Samuel in the offseason. I understand CMC was injured last year. I get it, but it was a plethora of injuries for him. And I don't hope this on anybody because I really do love him in fantasy if I get him. I absolutely love having CMC. So I hope he doesn't get injured again. But, I caused a stir up in the comments there. Yeah. But their strength is a linebacker core. They still have a great linebacking core. But the weakness for me, I have actually 3 weaknesses for them.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
There's their wide receiver, their offensive line, and the secondary. Now, I say the wide receivers because their star one is Brandon Ayuk. That is their number 1 wide receiver. The guy who's wanted out of there for, I think, the past 2 seasons. Jawan Jennings, which is a very good wide receiver. He did really well last year, stepping up in the absence of Ayuk sometimes and Deebo when he was injured. Yes, George Kittle on the outside. You always have George Kittle on the outside. He will play through almost anything. Their offensive line has gotten a bit weaker. Trent Williams is getting older. He's not the same Trent Williams as when he was younger. He is getting beat more and more the older he gets. and their secondary got beat up in this offseason. They don't have Hufanga, or whatever his last name is. He went to the Broncos. And they lost, I think, somebody else. So the star one that they have is Lenore, and I think that's going to be an issue. Yes, I mentioned that they have a good linebacking core, and they have Nick Bosa as well. But I think those are the three biggest holes on this team right now that I think will just make it tough to consistently win when they have to go against the Seahawks and the Rams.
Okay. Well, last season they were ranked 4th, even with all the injuries. They put up 376.3 yards a game with 42 offensive touchdowns. So, I mean, they're still the offense. I mean, can it be a hit or miss offense if everybody's healthy? That offense is going to click. Yes, the offensive line can be an issue, but I still think, with CMC, Brock Purdy, I mean, he's still, as long as he can stay healthy, Ayuk, if he can stay healthy, Kittle, if he can stay healthy. I mean, I know we said Kittle does play through a lot of pain, but at some point, your body's going to give up. So, I mean, he has to be smart. Personally, I think their defense, I think their front 7 is very solid because they can get to the quarterback. And yes, the secondary did take kind of a hit, but they still, I mean, they're still the 49ers. I mean, they're still going to be there. I still think the offense, might take a little bit of a setback with Debo being gone. But at the same time, I think the offense is still going to just be one of the elite offenses to deal with.
That's my guy Jason there, my coworker there, with the JDW Sports Network. That's my guy right there, Jason.
Welcome, Jason. Glad you made it.
He was hoping because he had something, like with his show. So he was like, "I hope that I'll make it this week." So he did make it. I'm glad he made it. Nothing much, just. Oh, Jay. He's like me. It's about my time I wake up for work too. Come on, Jay. But all right, I think my dad won't be too mad because I have my Pittsburgh Steelers at 16 as well. So I see them both middle of the pack. Our strength is our defense for sure. TJ Watt is still seeking a contract. I'm going to lose my mind on this team pretty soon. He is still seeking a contract. Are we serious? It's been a week. It's TJ Watt. I would have called him in, asked him, what are you looking for? What's your asking price? Yeah, old man Rodgers. I don't even talk about Aaron Rodgers right now. TJ Watt is still not signed like he wants to be. So I would call him in. I'd be like, TJ, come here. I'd sit him down.
So do I, Brian.
and I would park him there. He could, because he wasn't all bad with the Jets. His numbers didn't look great, but I think he still could be decent. Yeah, pretty much. That we paid $19 million to a 41-year-old when our star player is still looking for a goddamn contract. We are a week after my rant, and he's still looking for a contract. I would have sat his ass in my office for as long as I needed to work on a contract. But apparently, that's not too fucking important. So, but their defense is still their strength. But the weakness has to be their offensive line. If we cannot protect Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be the same thing that happened with the Jets. We have good weapons on the outside. We have a good running back. We just need to protect Aaron Rodgers. And God forbid, can we please sign TJ Watt?
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, man. Oh. Well, until my co-host comes back. The Steelers last season was ranked 23rd. They had 319.4 yards a game, 37 offensive touchdowns, but in the playoffs, their production dropped even more. They didn't even average 300 yards in the playoffs, and they only had 2 offensive touchdowns in the playoffs. I was shocked, and those of you who caught last week's show, when I kind of helped trigger some of Jeff's rants, I was shocked when they traded Pickens to the Cowboys, because I'm with Jeff. I would have loved to see what him and Walker would have done, but I took it they didn't want 2 quote-unquote divas on the same team. And then now you just added Aaron Rodgers, who is the biggest diva of them all. And yes, I know Stephen A's favorite saying, Aaron Rodgers is the man. But yeah, he's an old man. They do, and I said this last week, they do need to get TJ Watt signed. Because like I told Jeff last week, he's going to show up for the season. And come to at the end of the season, he might feel slighted and just literally walk away from the Steelers. Which is going to just make Jeff blow his shit. So, they need to get it together, because this has the potential to be kind of a Super Bowl caliber team if they could rebuild the offensive line. So yeah, they really need to, get it together and get TJ Watt where he wants, because that is a generational talent, and you don't want to give up generational talents like that.
Aaron Rodgers does not need to be the MVP Aaron Rodgers. We need him to just come in and play quarterback. He just needs to play GM. He just needs to play head coach. He just needs to come in and play decent quarterback play.
I agree.
With Arthur Smith, apparently I heard that they're gelling well right now. So that's a really good sign. I think that the diva stuff won't be an issue. I think, again, the Jets are like, here, take the franchise. We don't want you to just be the QB. We want you to be the GM, head coach, making all the choices. All he needs to do is come in. I do not want Anthony Richardson. I am fine with that. I'm all good. You can keep him. I don't want it. Yeah, I mean, you'd love it. I wouldn't. No.
Jason, are you trying to make my co-host really lose his shit today?
Yeah, that's what Jay does. He likes kind of poking a bear when being irritated. So, yeah, we don't need him to be MVP Aaron Rodgers. We just need him to be a decent QB. And that's all we need, because it's better than what we have on the roster right now. So, again, we'll see. I swear, if we're back next week.
Yes, I agree with you. It does make good content.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys enjoyed it. Because he's poking the bear right now.
We need to get back on track.
Yeah, if we come back next week and TJ Watt is still not signed, I might lose my shit. All right,
now I need to know. I got a new layer I need to make. A rant layer coming up, just for Jeff. A rant warning. All right, what's the next thing, buddy?
Just the thought of TJ Watt in a Ravens uniform has pissed me off.
Way to go, Jason.
All right, next, number 15. Number 15. No, I'm done. I gotta calm down. I gotta.
Yeah, we got a show to finish.
I gotta breathe. All right, number 15 is the Seahawks. And I think that they're middle of the pack. They did get Sam Darnold. Okay, I think him and Geno Smith are a lot of the same as far as talent-wise. Sam Darnold surprised the absolute hell out of me last year with what he did with the Vikings. So I think some of that will carry over to the Seahawks. I really do. But saying all that, I think their strength has to be their defensive line. It is loaded. They have Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy II, Leonard Williams, and DeMarcus Lawrence, who I said they got from the Cowboys, that they didn't feel like re-signing him. That front four is just absolutely deadly. It could get to the QB at will. Have fun trying to block Leonard Williams and Lawrence at the same time. Have fun with that one. But the weakness is the other end of their line, which is their offensive line. Had our time protecting Geno last year, and now it's Sam Darnold. We've seen Sam Darnold when he has not great offensive line in front of him. That's where he struggles a lot. But I mean, and that's with a lot of QBs. I'm not just gonna say that's just with Sam Darnold, but with the he was not with the Giants. With the Jets, that offensive line was questionable, and we saw what happened. He did not do well, and he got kicked right out. He went to the Panthers, same thing. Then he had a good offensive line there in Minnesota, but with a good offensive system, and he succeeded. So that is, to me, is their biggest weakness right now, is that offensive line.
Okay, so last season, the Seahawks was in the middle of the pack. It was ranked 14th. They averaged 332.2 yards with 43 offensive touchdowns. You got rid of Walker. Geno Smith is gone. And you bring in Sam Darnold. Now, yes, Darnold did good in Minnesota. But the question is it going to be the same Sam Darnold? Or is this going to be the New York Jets Sam Darnold that the Seahawks is getting? There's no guarantee. Because, like I said, it was only just 1 year where he actually showed he was able to play. So now they're banking on them doing this again, which if the offensive line doesn't hold up, I don't see it happening. I do have to agree with you about their defense. Again, Seattle, once again, is like Pittsburgh, and they're always known for their defense. Same thing I said about New England. It was, their defense was their strong point. That's what got them their Super Bowl win, was their defense. And they built a defense similar, but I believe this defense is a lot faster than that Super Bowl defense was. That Super Bowl defense was more of a, we're going to hit you as hard as we can and look to knock you out the game.
Mm-hmm.
This defense is the type of defense that's looking to, we're going to chase you down and hit you as hard as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So I see them possibly staying, in the middle of the pack, ranked this year as an offense, where they might drop down to maybe the 20th spot, depending on Sam Darnold's play.
Yeah, I mean, they have weapons on the outside. They have Jackson Smith and Jigba. He had a great rookie season last year. They did get Cooper Kupp. Again, injuries hurt him last year. I still think he's a damn good wide receiver to have there. They have Scantling that they got from the Packers. And they have Noah Fant as their tight end. I think Sam Darnold has a plethora of weapons to throw to. It's just a matter of what Sam Darnold are the Seahawks getting, like you said.
Exactly.
All right, number 14 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This offense is really, really good, as we all know. Baker is a completely different QB. He is, I mean, as we know, that's my guy. That is my guy, Baker Mayfield. He's my guy right there.
I bet you wish he was in Pittsburgh.
Oh boy, do I wish he was in Pittsburgh. He would definitely be my guy. Their strength is, of course, their offense with Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving, and the offensive line is still really, really good. Their biggest issue, they have a great defensive line, they have great linebackers. The biggest issue, almost like with the Jags, is that secondary got absolutely demolished with injuries last year, and it's almost the same core guys that they have in their secondary. I would know because I think I had 2 of the 4 of them on my fantasy team, and they're both out for like weeks. So that's why I would know. That to me, if that's their only weakness, I think that's a good weakness to have. Is that just they need to load up on the secondary depth just in case that they get injured again? I think it's a good defense.
Well, I'm surprised you actually had him at 14th. Considering this last year, there was a 3rd ranked top offense in the league with 399.5 yards a game, 59 offensive touchdowns. Now, they did take a step back in the playoffs where they only put up 284 and only 2 touchdowns, but that was in one playoff game. This offense, I hate to say it, it's going to be an explosive offense. Because remember, there was a few games where Evans was hurt, Godwin was done for the rest of the season, and the wide receivers stepped up and filled their shoes until Evans came back and the offense even got better. Bucky, oh my God, that was a find for the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
Their secondary, if they could stay healthy, it could be a lockdown secondary. The thing is, they gotta stay healthy. And we all know that the offense is anchored by Villa, who's like a mountain to try to move. He takes up so many, so much space where you got to double team him almost every play, and even then he can still get to your quarterback, or he'll somehow grab a hold of the running back. I swear, I think that man is like Stretch Armstrong.
That dude's a big dude.
Yes,
he is big.
So, and they
Levante
did add
David
some more
still there too.
and they've added some more weapons on their offense. So I mean, I still think they're going to be a top 5 offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just basing this off offense. I'm doing like a whole team. And yes, I think that they're still a great team, but given the teams I have ahead of them, I think that the teams ahead of them could beat them in the one-on-one matchup. That's how I viewed it, like with the power rankings. But again, this is still a great team. They have a chance to make noise in the in the NFC. There's no stopping Baker. I mean, he's just a different animal right now with how he's playing in these past few seasons. He's one who's earned every bit of his contract. He is one player in the NFL who has earned every single penny of that contract.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
All right, number 13 is the Houston Texans. Yes, I see them winning the AFC South. I don't think there's any debating about that. Jason, I'm sorry, there is no debate. Your Colts, I don't think, have much of a chance to even sniff the Texans this year. Because, I mean, Titans, I don't think are going to be that good. Jags are not going to be that good. Colts will get second in that, just based off of what it is named off. But Texans will obviously be number 1 with C.J. Stroud. No more Diggs there, but Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Yeah, I'll take it. Again, with Tony's guy Daniel Jones man in the front, I don't see it happening. But to me, their secondary is their biggest strength. I'll have to see it. Again, I'm very iffy on the rookie QBs. I'm very, very iffy. Oh, he's going to keep poking the bear today.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
but the Texan secondary is their strength. They have all-pro cornerback Derek Singletary, cornerback Kamari Lassiter, Indiana Jones. They have Jalen Petrie, and they signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that is an amazing, amazing secondary. But their weakness is, I mean, if I had to pick one, is their offensive line. I don't really have a reason. To me, that's just the weakness of the team.
Well, last year the Texans wasn't really that great of an offense. It was only ranked 22nd with 319.7 yards. But they did get better in the playoffs. I mean, they had 38 offensive touchdowns for the entire season with 4 more in the playoffs. In the playoffs, they almost averaged 400 yards. That was at 382.5. So as the season got better and went into the postseason, the Titans got better. Then injuries hit.
Oh yeah.
Which is always basically, especially when it's the key players.
Tank Dell, Nico Collins.
Always be in season killer. With another full season under C.J. Stroud's belt, now it's his 3rd season. He should have that offense mastered. And I agree, they're going to win the division again. because Jacksonville is still a mess. The Colts, I mean, I'm sorry, Jason, but if you're putting your trust in Daniel Jones, yeah, I'll just see if I can sign a contract with the Colts to become their quarterback, because I could probably throw the ball down the field better than Daniel Jones can. The Titans, I did pick Cam Ward as my rookie or my standout rookie, like I did with CJ Stroud. So as long as he can stay healthy and the line can protect them, the Titans can at least finish second, maybe third. The Jags, I think, is going to finish at the bottom because they just can't stay healthy.
I mean, I like his confidence with the Colts, but I mean, again, that is one of your sleeper teams, Tony. But I don't.
Yes, I did pick the Colts as a sleeper team, just because of they have a lot of offensive weapons. Their defense is very good. I mean, like I said earlier, last year their offense was ranked 13th. So I mean, their offense isn't bad. If Anthony Richards could put that I gave up on the team situation behind him and prove to his teammates and the rest of the Colts fans that it was a mistake, he'll thrive with that offense. He got to grow up. There is no sugarcoating. He needs to grow up. It's going to be his third year. It's time to grow up.
We will see. We will see. All right, number 12 is one of my sleeper teams, the Denver Broncos. And I will harp on it all the time. Their strength is defense, defense, defense. That is their strength this year. My goodness, they load up on the defense. Their defense was top, I think, 4 in the NFL last year, and they only got better. But the weakness, I think Bo Nix is going to get better. I don't think he's going to hit a sophomore slump. I think Sean Payton knows what he's doing with the QBs. Obviously, we saw with Drew Brees. But their only weakness to me is that wide receiver core. Right now, the two top wide receivers are Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims. That is their 2 wide receivers right now. I think Bo Nix will still strive and find the other ones that I'm not talking about. And Sutton, I think, will have a good year. But I think that the Broncos, that is their only weakness, is wide receiver. They do. And that's why they're my sleeper team. I think they have a defense to possibly slow down the Chiefs in almost any offense in the league.
So last season, the Broncos ranked 19th, averaging 324.6 points a game with 47 offensive touchdowns. In the playoffs, they won playoff appearance. The offense basically was held in check. They only averaged 224 with 1 offensive touchdown. Bo Nix is the real deal. A lot of people I'm not going to lie, I was kind of skeptical about him at first. But once I seen a few games with him and how well he was playing, I was like, wow, this kid under Sean Payton, can he be the next Drew Brees? I won't go that far. But this kid you can tell he has a great football IQ because he doesn't make too many mistakes. And some of those throws he made last season, a lot of veterans won't be able to make.
Hmm?
And so, I mean, in that defense, if Patrick comes back completely 100% healthy to anchor that secondary could remind me of the old Broncos no-fly zone secondary.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that could be, I mean, that offense.
Hufanga, too, from the Niners, too, like I was saying.
Exactly. So, I mean, they could be the offense could be stronger. They need a better receiving core. But like I said, with the throws Bo Nix was making last season, I don't think it's going to matter.
No.
Because
he's signed Evan Ingram from the Jags, too.
Which, I mean, I can't believe the Jags did that and let him go. That was stupid. Because that was Trevor Lawrence's security blanket.
I know, but that's the Jags, though. That's why we said they're a dumpster fire.
So now you just gave Bo Nix a security blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Evan Ingram's issue is just staying healthy. He needs to stay on that field. I mean, as you would know that very well. He needs to stay on that field.
Yep, I know, former Giant.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get away from Daniel Jones.
Don't blame him. But all right, number 11, staying in that division, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I'm only kidding. They're not 11. I'm only kidding. Relax. I got the Los Angeles Chargers.
The funny thing is, I actually believe you had them at 11 because I don't think their offense is really all that special. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have the Los Angeles Chargers. Their strength is by far their QB and their linebacker. But the QB, Justin Herbert, is that guy. I just think he is. I love him. I think he's super, super talented. With Harbaugh there, I think he's only just going to keep getting better. But the linebackers, really. Sally Sherbert. All right, Jason.
Jason, you're causing us to get fall off track here.
Mm-hmm. But their linebackers really impressed me. They have Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman, and Bud Dupree. Those are three really, really good linebackers there. But their weakness to me is the wide receivers. Yes, Ladd McConkey had an amazing rookie year with Herbert. He did a lot better than I thought he really would have.
I'm glad you're enjoying the show. We're enjoying having you here.
Mm-hmm. He's pushing my buttons, but I enjoy having him here. Ladd he stepped up in the absence of Keenan Allen last year more than I ever thought that he really could. Yeah, he is. He is him. He is a really good wide receiver. He's only going to get better with having Herbert there another year. Quentin Johnson and Mike Williams is back with the...
Do I even want to know?
He's just being a smartass because I said that he's pushing my buttons, and he's being a smartass saying that he doesn't see me wearing any buttons. There's the buttons. But and Mike Williams is back with the Chargers. So I just think that's their biggest weakness right now is the wide receiver room. I understand that Ladd's a great wide receiver, but Quentin Johnson had some issues with the droppies. with the Butterfingers, and Mike Williams is old. I don't know what he's going to do for that team this year.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Last year the Chargers was 20th in offense, with a 324 yards, 0.2 yards per game, 41 offensive touchdowns. Jason, you're killing me right now. I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, we were talking about the Chargers. Khalil Mack is getting up there in age, and the fact that they lost Joey Bosa, which some people might say really isn't that big of a deal, but let's face it, he did with Khalil Mack on the field, he was able to help get to the quarterback. The receiving core needs a major overhaul. You can't have wide receivers constantly dropping the ball. We've seen how well that worked out 2 years ago with Kansas City with Kadarius Toney and how he cost them a couple of games from drop passes. If your receivers can't catch the ball, you need to get more receivers that can't catch the ball. Because Hubert, I mean, some people might not believe don't think he's just a average quarterback. To me, he's a above average quarterback. He has a great arm. He has a good knowledge of the game. And yes, with Coach Harbaugh, he can have that team playing at a championship level. But if you don't have receivers that can hold on to the ball, you're defeating yourself. Because defense does win games. Well, the defense does win championships. But the offense is the one that's going to help put the points on the board to give your defense that chance to win the game. And if your receivers are dropping passes, you're not scoring. You're settling for field goals.
Yep. All right. Now, getting into the top 10. Number 10, the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, Sam Darnold did well for them last year. I am interested to see what J.J. McCarthy does for this team, coming off of a huge injury last year. That's what's worrying me. I know he's a good talent. I saw him play at Michigan. But I'm interested to see what he's going to do with this offense with Justin Jefferson. Their strength is, of course, wide receiver. No doubt.
Oh, well, yeah.
With Addison as well, and Jefferson, I think McCarthy, almost like Aaron Rodgers, doesn't need to play great. He just needs to play good, get them the ball, and just let them run. Just throw the deep ball to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and let them go. They have Aaron Jones as well in the backfield. They have a good offensive line. So they have a chance to be really, really really good this season. But their weakness is that secondary. They have a good front. they have a good front on the defense, and linebackers are good as well. It's just that secondary got beat up last year. So if they can fix that, I think they will still have a good year, almost like they had last year. Maybe not as many wins last year with having JJ now, but I think they're still going to have a good year.
Well, under Sam Darnold, the Vikings was ranked 12th. 346.9 yards, 47 offensive touchdowns. Of course, in the playoffs, the offense was ineffective. Sam Darnold was ineffective. J.J. McCarthy, as long as he could stay healthy, and this will be his first full season, he needs to make sure he protects the ball. Because even though the defense is fairly good, they're also getting up there in age. So he needs to make sure he protects the ball, let that defense rest, and put points on the board. Otherwise, it's going to be pointless. I mean, we all know that Jefferson and Addison can get frustrated if things aren't going their way and there's a lot of turnovers. And with that new revamped offensive line, he should be well protected. But once again, this is the NFL. All it takes is one freak accident.
Mm-hmm. And again, with coming off a major injury like he had.
Exactly.
All right, number 9 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Big bad Bengals. Their strength is, of course, the offense with Joe Burrow and those star wide receivers and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And Chase Brown, to me, was a find for them last year. He had a great rookie season. I wouldn't say great, but he had a good rookie season with that offense. He hasn't even played yet. He hasn't even played in the NFL yet. I'm gonna ignore that one because he didn't even play it. But the Bengals, I'm gonna say it like it did with the Steelers. Trey Hendrickson is still looking for a contract. How are you gonna have him looking for a contract? He is your sacks leader the past 2 seasons. I think he's the sack leader in the NFL in the past 2 seasons, and he's still looking for a contract. That is just absurd to me. We saw that defense last year. If Trey Hendrickson wasn't getting to the QB, they couldn't stop a cold. They really couldn't stop a cold. Shamar Stewart.
No, I didn't see the clause.
Oh yeah, the Bengals, their draft pick. They want him to I saw something on it, and then he called out the organization. So their rookie 16th pick in the NFL draft won't sign with them because of some kind of clause that no other rookie has in their contract, and they want him to sign it. I do remember seeing that. I just don't remember what the clause was. I promise with the Bengals clause, they won't pay any of his medical bills. All of his medical expenses have to come out of his contract. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is.
So if he gets injured, they won't pay for him. Wow. And he called out the organization. I don't blame him. But that defense got destroyed last season. Joe Burrow put up. If they won more games, Joe Burrow would have been in the MVP conversation. I don't care what anybody says. He really would have been in the MVP conversation if they won more games. But that defense let him down time and time again. That's
yeah. So last year there was ranked exactly where you have them this year, 9th. They put up 365.5 yards with 57 offensive touchdowns. They were the 5th highest scoring team in the league. So they know how to find the end zone.
They didn't even make the playoffs.
Well, they didn't make the playoffs due to the fact of a lot of injuries and just their schedule was kind of wasn't in their favor.
And the defense really sucked. Like, they were putting up points, as you just read off. But that defense was also giving up just as much, if not more points.
A lot of the problem with the Bengals is the offensive line still needs a little bit of work because Joe Burrow is still running for his life, and there still is an APB out on the Cincinnati Bengals defense. So I think this season, they're still going to be in the top 10. Yeah, I agree. I pretty much agree.
If they keep this stuff up, they're not signing Hendrickson and they're doing that to the rookie 16th overall pick. Yeah, it's just gonna continue to get worse and worse for the Bengals. All right, number 8. Are you good, Tony?
I'm good.
Okay, number 8. The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I think they're a good team. They are a good team. I have them in the top 10 in the NFL. Again, to me, their biggest what if this season is if Jordan Love can stop making dumb plays. Yeah. A lot of players want to go and win, but then there are some of them that only really want the money, as we saw with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has no problem losing with the Browns. He just wants his money. Exactly. I think a championship ring is a lot more valuable to me than the money. Yes, and Jordan Love is very inconsistent. He makes too many, to me, dumb plays. He just throws the ball up and expects his wide receivers to catch it. Yes, his wide receivers were injured last year. Watson, he tore his ACL. He's going to be coming off of that injury. He's just so inconsistent. I'm very lenient on him, but when he is on, and he's not making those dumb plays. He is a great quarterback to have back there.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. That is a lot of loyalty because he could have left at will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he was going to, and then they showed him a fat contract. He was like, actually, I will stay. I'll take the money. I don't actually want to win right now. Yes, they have a great wide receiver room. If that wide receiver room, I feel like we keep saying it over and over and over again, but if that wide receiver room can stay healthy. They couldn't stay healthy too much last year. Again, I mentioned Watson. He was out at the beginning of the year. He came back for a few games and then tore his ACL. So he was almost a no-show all last season. Jaden Reed stepped up in a big, big way. Man! But, he stepped up in a big way. But then he got injured towards the end of the year. Wicks, he stepped in a big way. Romeo Dobbs, he stepped up in a big way as well. Tucker Kraft, he did well last year. And Josh Jacobs, what an addition he was to that team, I will say. That was a great signing for them. I think that's exactly what they needed with not having Aaron Jones there anymore. Again, I want to see Watson play a full season without getting injured. I think that's just the biggest thing for me right now. Their weakness is their secondary. They just got rid of Alexander, which I think is a big hit anyway. And he was one of their key guys back there, and now they just lost him, so now it's going to get even worse. So that is their biggest weakness this season.
Last season, the Packers was ranked 5th. They averaged 370.8 yards, 52 touchdowns. Again, one of the highest scoring teams in the league. So, yeah, I mean, they got Josh Jacobs as the running back, which he's a beast. That wide receiver core, oh, Lord. I mean, just about any team would love to have those type of receivers. And I gotta agree with Jason and you, Jeff. If Jordan Love could play consistent, and with that defense, because that defense is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could play consistent, that team, they could be a Super Bowl caliber team. But Jordan Love needs to be more consistent. This inconsistency is good. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt him.
Mm-hmm. I understand wanting to make plays, but there's times where you have to be smart with the ball, and there's times where he is not smart.
And I said it before. I said it last week, actually, when we were discussing the NFL. He kind of reminds me of Brett Favre. Just willing to take risk after risk after risk after risk. And when you're that young, that is not a good way to start your NFL career.
No.
And,
You're good. You go ahead. You can say what you need to.
Oh no, you already said it. I'm good.
Oh, well, again, it all depends on him, and if he feels just like being dumb again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that comparison is there. He just maybe
Much talent.
Brett was his idol growing up, and that's who he's trying to be like. But yeah, that's not a way to start your NFL career.
All right, top 7. Number 7, the Rams. I have the Rams at number 7. Matthew Stafford is that guy. To me, I think he's still a great quarterback. Yes, he's getting older.
Don't even get me started.
Jason, you missed it. We already talked about the Cowboys, so we're not going back. You could rewatch it after we're done. Yeah, Rams are a damn good team. They added Adams. They have Nakua. So to me, they just swapped Kupp and Adams. Kyron Williams. What a find he was. What an absolute find Kyron Williams was.
Yes.
They have a Tutu Atwell, which is a good third wide receiver out there. Tyler Higbee is a reliable tight end. Terrence Ferguson is there as well. They have a good offensive line. They have a good defense as well. I think this team has a real good chance again, and that's why I think they're going to be ahead of the Niners in the as long as, or that's why I think they will be ahead of the Niners in their division. I really, really do. I strongly see that happening because I just think they have more on the team and just more talent right now.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. last season, with all the injuries, they were still a top 15 team all the way. They averaged 331.4 yards a game, 41 offensive touchdowns, and they actually got better in the playoffs, where they averaged almost 350 yards a game and 5 offensive touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Rams' offense is, that Rams' offense is potent. I thought the defense was going to take a step back after Aaron Donald retired, but it did to some extent, but not as bad as I thought it was going to. That defense is still, they can still get to the quarterback. Their secondary, yes, occasionally they can, get beat, but their secondary is the type of secondary is, okay, yeah, we're going to let you catch the ball, or we're going to pop you in your mouth as soon as you catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that linebacking core, they're quick.
Yeah, they're young and quick.
So as long as Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, yeah, that offense, yeah, you're right. They can possibly finish up ahead of the 49ers.
I really think that. I think they can. I think they are more talented right now than the Niners. All right, number 6. I think Owen would be very happy with this one. I have. Yep. Notice when the receiver knows it's coming. Yep, it does. If you have, almost like we were saying, like with the Seahawks. Like when Earl Thomas or Richard Sherman or Cam Chancellor's come over to hit you, you might be more focused on that than actually catching the ball. So
exactly.
That does make a difference. But number 6, I have the Washington Commanders. What an impressive season they had last season. Jaden Daniels. My goodness. Did he shock the world or what? I did not expect that.
You and me both.
You didn't even expect that, and you're high on rookies. I did not expect that from the Washington Commanders. To me, last year they were just a year ahead of schedule. Now with a full year under Jaden Daniels' belt, man, he's going to get even better. It's the same offensive system with the same wide receivers.
We're about to discuss that now.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he continues to get better, especially with the head coach he has.
Yeah, none of us saw that coming.
No, because I was like, all right, the Commanders, they drafted another talented wide receiver, another talented quarterback in the first round. They'll probably be all right. They'll be better than they were. No, they made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. Right? They did. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's bad. I'm not thinking right. They made it far in the playoffs, which none of us really expected.
No, none of us. Not what.
So,
maybe Commanders fans probably knew, but I don't think they're gonna honestly admit that they didn't have that kind of expectation.
No, again, it's the same system, same core there.
Yeah, I agree. His frame is small, but
they improved the offensive line though. They really improved the offensive line with the trades that they made. This team is going to be a dangerous one there in the NFC once again. And I know it pains you to say that, again, being that you're a Giants fan. but you have to admit they are going to be a pain in the ass in the NFC.
Well, last season it was ranked 7th.
Mm-hmm.
They put up 369.6 yards, 55 offensive touchdowns. They only got better in the postseason. This is going to be crazy. They averaged almost 400 yards in the postseason. 393.7. 10 offensive touchdowns. They were the second. They tied for the second most offensive touchdowns in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that put up more offensive touchdowns than them was, of course, the Eagles, the team that beat them, which we'll get to in a minute. But yes, I did not ever see Jaden Daniels coming at all. When I seen he was drafted, I was thinking, oh, okay, he might have a decent rookie season. I mean, he is playing for the Commanders, and they're known to just screw shit up. And yeah, I have nothing to say. I mean, they're gonna give the Eagles a run for their money. Can they overtake the Eagles in the division? I don't think so, but it's possible considering that a lot of the players that the Eagles lost in the offseason and the fact that they really didn't make any moves during the offseason. But yeah, I mean, Washington's going to, and plus they added Deebo Sanders. So now you gave Daniels another fucking weapon.
They just got to sign Terry. They just have to sign Scary Terry. That's another that they still haven't signed him yet.
So now you gave, like I say, Daniels another fucking weapon to go along with this. I mean, he's almost like, I want to say, he's Kyler Murray, but a little bit slightly better. He's not at the level of Lamar Jackson, but he's around the Kyler Murray level. I feel he's a little bit better than Kyler Murray.
Like, if he has another amazing year this year, he'll be like right there.
And that's only because Kyler Murray's issue is he's his height.
Mm-hmm.
He's short as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to discuss Dallas. Screw Dallas.
We already did. We already talked about them. Again, Jay, you can go back and watch it later. All right, top 5. The big top 5 in the NFL. Number 5 has to be, to me, the Detroit Lions.
I knew that was going to be a 15.
I think it's pretty easy and obvious why they're number 5. Their offense is one of the elite offenses in the NFL, without a doubt. Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Gibbs. Amon-Ra. All the other weapons they have on the offense. That defense was amazing until
Hutchinson got hurt.
Huge injury. Yep. God, if he comes back, same guy, same player, they're going to be an issue again. Just the only issue they have is really their secondary. They got beaten in secondary a lot last season. If they can fix that up, again, this team is a top 5 team in the NFL easily.
So, offensively, the Lions were ranked 2nd, averaging 409.5 yards a game, 70 offensive scoring touchdowns. It was a higher scoring team in the league. The offense got better in the postseason, but could not score. That was their issue. They could not score. They only managed 4 offensive touchdowns in the postseason and got bounced. But they averaged 521 yards in the postseason. How do you jump a whole more than 100 yards in average on the postseason but can't score? The defense is going to get better. The offense I'm curious to see how the offense is going to turn out with the departure of Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. But with St. Brown's, Gibbs, Montgomery, Williamson,
Laporta, yep.
And you still got Goff, and that offensive line is still talented, although their center did retire. They are going. That offense. There was only one offense that was put up more yardage than them, but no other team outscored them. Mm-hmm. So they was actually able to give the defense the breather they needed, while just basically running over everybody offensively.
Again, I think for years and years to come, they're going to be an issue in the NFL. I don't think it matters what. It obviously does matter what OC they have, but with just that much talent on that team, they're going to be a problem in the NFL.
Well, it won't matter as long as the OC basically runs the same offense. Mm-hmm. If next OC comes in and wants to try to change things up, that might not be a good thing. That's where Dan Campbell has to put his foot down and say, hey, no, we're not going to screw up our offense by bringing in a whole new system. We're going to keep the system we have. And the defense, like I said, with Hutchinson coming back, I believe I saw a report that said he was clear to resume football-related moves and stuff. Mm-hmm. So with Hutchinson coming back, and that the defense secondary was a little bit shaky, but as long as they could get to the quarterback, that defense, the secondary should be fine, because that means your secondary don't have to stay out there, chasing receivers far too long.
Number 4. It pains me, but I have to admit it. The number 4 team in the NFL is the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. I'm interested to see who the top 3 are. Well, I know the Eagles is one of them, since we already have included them yet. I know the Chiefs is another one. Mm-hmm. So that means the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles are in your top 3. This is going to be interesting. But go ahead while you got the Eagles at number 4.
Number 4. Now, yes, they, to me, should be Super Bowl favorites. But I don't have number 1 for a reason.
Okay.
To me, their weakness is their offensive play calling. Down the stretch in some games, we saw it last year, they did not give the ball to Derrick Henry. They expected Lamar to just sling it around the field. That is not what you do in the final minute. You need to give it to Derrick Henry to move the ball down the field. Ravens, they have everything they need to be the Super Bowl champion this year. The coaching really turns me down from them. That's why I'm at number 4. It's not because I'm a Steelers fan. I am about as real as they come. I will always be honest. And I am. I'm being honest. They have a great team. They should be a Super Bowl champion this year. But that offensive play calling last year was very questionable, and a lot of scenarios. So that's why they're number 4. Their defense is great. Their offense is great. It's just that play calling that they have, man. It gets in their own way. That they get in their own way.
Okay. Sorry, Jason, I missed those two. Last season, the Ravens was ranked the number 1 offense in the league. They averaged 424.9, basically 425 yards. It was the second highest scoring team in the league, tied for the second highest, with 65 offensive touchdowns. It was tied with the Buffalo Bills in scoring. They got out slightly a little bit better in the postseason with 440 yards per game and 7 offensive touchdowns. That offense is only going to get better. I know a lot of people joke around and says that the Baltimore Ravens is a wide receiver graveyard for older players because it happened with Steve Smith Jr. Basically, any veteran that went there, they went there to die. And DeAndre Hopkins has gone there. So now you're giving Lamar Jackson another weapon. You still got Derek the Beast King Henry, who rushed for almost 2,000 yards. Yeah, the play calling could be better because they need to learn, once you get a lead, that offense is built to give you a lead and then is built to just beat you up. That's why they signed Henry last season. So you could get Lamar out, get him going early, and then once you get a lead, use Henry to just beat your opponent into submission. There was a lot of games where I agree, they didn't do that. Where you would see the Ravens up, and then next thing you know, they're still throwing the ball around. When you got a tractor trailer behind you that has no brakes, he's all gas, no brakes, and you automatically pull the emergency brake. It's like, what are you thinking? So yeah, I mean, they should have been in the Super Bowl. It should have been the Ravens versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Again, they just get in their own way. That's just... They should have been there the past couple seasons, in my opinion. It's just... They get in their own way. They really, really do. Alright, you're interested for my top 3.
I'm actually just waiting to see who you have as number 1.
Number 3. The Buffalo Bills. This is number 3 team. Their strength, of course, is their offense. Josh Allen. He will always be their strength. But the weakness is that secondary. They get beat up in that secondary time and time again. And it feels like all the time Josh Allen puts up a lot of points, and then when it comes down to it, that secondary needs one stop, and they can't do it for him. Josh Allen can only do it for so long. He can only put up so many points. He can't do everything for that team. So that's why I have at number 3. I think if there's going to be a downfall to this team, it's going to be their secondary.
I kind of agree. Last year they was ranked 10th, almost 360 yards a game. They got better in the postseason, almost 373 yards a game. And like I said, they was tied for second in scoring with 65 next to the Ravens. And they also put up 10 postseason touchdowns, which was tied for second with the Commanders, surprisingly. So yeah, it was a huge. I mean, the Bills are a team that starts strong in the middle of the season. Then they seem to flounder towards the middle of the season, and then pick it back up at the end of the season. Get into the playoffs, and somehow always runs into the Chiefs, and there goes your postseason.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the recurring theme with the Buffalo Bills.
And there's got to be a change. Something has to change. 1 year.
I mean, signing Joey Bosa was a huge, sign for as far as defensive wise. But I mean, they got to find a way to get out of their own way, especially when they got to play the Chiefs.
Yeah, aka the secondary. It's every time. Allen, I think, does pretty well against the Chiefs. It's just that secondary hurts him time and time again. Right,
Number two.
Number two. The Kansas City Chiefs, the team who finished second last year.
Okay.
Lost to the Eagles. Kansas City Chiefs. We obviously saw they are not the same team. They obviously their strength is Pat Mahomes in the offense. They have a damn good defense, but that strength, as we saw last year, was that offensive line. At times, they could not protect Pat Mahomes.
You mean their weakness?
Oh yeah, sorry. Their weakness last year was at times they could not stop they could not block for Pat Mahomes. He is magical with the ball. He is magical creating plays, creating opportunities, but he was not the same guy. This was not the same team that we're used to seeing. And Hollywood Brown was injured last year. The wide receiver room was kind of messed up. Yeah, I know. That's the only team that they really can't beat is the Colts. I don't know how. But again, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I still think they're going to be good this year. That's why I'm at number two.
Okay, well, I mean, I really don't have the Chiefs high up on as you do. Because last year they was in the middle of the pack. It was ranked 16th. They barely averaged 330 yards a game, 42 touchdowns overall. Their defense depleted the offense depleted in the postseason, putting up on less than 300 yards a game, and they only mustered 6 offensive touchdowns. I'm sorry, but
made it all the way.
To me, the Chiefs' biggest issue is, and I'm going to be annoyed because I'm giving this bitch airtime, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce relationship. Ever since those two hooked up, this team has been a shell of themselves. They struggled to beat teams that they were supposed to beat last year. Yes, the defense is impressive. The defense has gotten a lot better. But yeah, I mean, we're here to watch football. I don't want to see Taylor Swift all over the TV for no damn reason. Nobody gives a shit. And Travis Kelce behavior is getting out of hand. I mean, any other player who would get in their coach's face, curse him out, and caught on camera doing it would have been suspended. So, I mean, like I said, the Eagles exposed them badly for who they really are in the Super Bowl. And yes, I agree, the offensive line is horrible. That looked like the offensive line back when it was the Bucs and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I don't see them as the high-powered offense that they used to be. Yes, they have weapons, but again, those receivers are so unreliable, with the exception of can't think of his name right now. The rookie.
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, well, Rice was hurt.
Don't worry, I'll look. Xavier Worthy?
Yeah, Worthy. They need to find a way to get him the ball more. Rice needs to stay healthy.
Hollywood Brown.
Brown is hit or miss.
I mean, they need him on the field, though. That's like what I'm trying to say. Like, they need him on the field.
They need Pacheco on the field, too.
And they have Hunt. Well, yep.
And they need Travis Kelce to figure out if he wants to play football or if he wants to be a glamour boy toy.
All right. So obviously, number one
is the Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. I understand they lost a lot and they haven't done much. But I do it almost like how NBA does it. How like the champs are always put just number one until
they get the throne.
The season starts. Yeah, until that season starts, and then I start moving them around.
Don't get me started.
It's your guy Saquon. Again, they lost a lot of talent on the defensive end. Edge rushers Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, cornerback Darius Slay, and safety CJ Gardner-Johnson, like I said earlier. And that defense has a lot of holes to fill. That offense is still really, really good. Again, I just have number one because they won the Super Bowl last year. We will see if those departures on the defensive end really matter or mean something this year. But yeah, I mean, we will see.
Well, last season, offensively, the Eagles was ranked 8th, averaging 367 yards, 54 offensive touchdowns. They stayed about the same in the playoffs with 366 yards average. And there was a higher scoring team, of course, like I said earlier, with 13 offensive touchdowns. Offensively, yeah, much hasn't changed on the offensive end, but they've lost a lot on the defense. And if that offense can't put up the points like they did last season, they're going to be in trouble. Because that secondary, I mean, unless there's gems in that secondary that we don't know about, they're going to get eaten alive.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Again, I think it's only right to put them not number one because they won last year, and the Chiefs number two because they came second, and then every other team was just kind of a free reign of where to put them until week one happens. That's when I will definitely switch it up and see where I rank them after.
That's pretty much all I have left to say.
2.5 hours.
Whew.
With a lot of entertainment.
Yeah. And an unexpected rant that we didn't expect to get either.
You can thank Jason for that one because he really pushed the buttons to get that one out. He wanted to see it live. You got that one out.
All right, well, folks, that's the end of the show.
Unexpected rant. Rant, Jason. R-A-N-T.
Yeah, we didn't have any rant scheduled for today. We usually schedule our rants, but this one was, thanks to you.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope to see everybody next week. Same bad channel, same bad time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jeff. Oh, no, that's Jeff. I'm Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to see you guys next week.